I'd like to talk about now how to deal with anger appropriately. One of the first things to do is to recognize that you are angry. That's number one. You have to have the awareness. And here's what, now this, in some ways, this may sound like a cliche, be aware, self-aware. We all hear these expressions a lot. But here's what it really does on the level of the brain. When we're flooded with anger, our limbic system, the emotional system of the brain, is fully engaged and activated. What's less activated is our prefrontal cortex, the thinking part of our brain. So when I use the term awareness, be aware of your anger, I'm talking about thinking about your anger, knowing that you're angry. What that does, it sort of dilutes the anger. We're no longer just flooded with anger. It's still there, but now we have some rational thought going. And the rational thought may take the form of, you know what, I'm getting angry now. Or it may take the form of, am I angry? Because one of the best ways to engage our prefrontal cortex is to ask ourselves questions. Am I angry? How angry am I? What am I angry at? And what's really key is, how do I want to deal with this anger? And at first, when you start to do this, it may seem a little bit strange, but you get used to it. With practice, you start to do it very quickly, where you're instantly recognizing that you're angry. So that's step number one, being aware that you are angry. Step number two is taking that anger and putting it in a box. And I think of this as levels of anger, 1 to 10. 1 is low, 10 is high. You take that anger and you say to yourself, I think I'm level 3, or maybe level 4. Whatever the answer is, what's most important is you're thinking about your anger. You're ordering your anger. I said earlier that anger is a very intense, volatile emotion. We could lose control easily with our anger. When we start to put it in a level, we're aware of it, and now we're putting it in a level, we're controlling the anger. It's not controlling us anymore, and we're not acting out and doing or saying something we regret, but we're controlling that anger. We're putting it, I'm level 6, I'm level 3, whatever the level is, you're controlling the anger. You have the control over the anger. And in a sense, I believe, to fully engage our potential, to be a fully activated human being and clicking on all cylinders, we need to be able to deal with our emotionality. And anger is one of the most difficult emotions to deal with. And one way to deal with our emotionality is to be aware that we are feeling a certain feeling and then making a decision about what we want to do with it. And that's the third phase of anger management. If the first is awareness, the second is giving it a level, putting it in a box, a numbered box, 1 to 10. The third level is making a decision of what you would like to do with that anger. I want to bring it up also in a different context. I want to make an analogy here between anger and obsessive behaviors, between anger and addictive behaviors. Here's what they all have in common: unmanaged anger, obsessive behaviors, addictive behaviors. What they have in common is there's an automatic nature to our reactions. We're doing something habitually. We're doing something we've done before again and again and again. In fact, perhaps with anger or obsessive or addictive behaviors, we're doing something we learned in childhood from a mother or a father or some elder that was a caretaker for us. We're reacting on this automatic pilot. To fully engage ourselves in this world, we need to be in the moment. We don't need to just keep recreating the same addictive, habitual behaviors that we've always done in the past. We need to be in the moment. So with anger management and the steps I'm mentioning here, awareness, putting a level, a box to the anger, making a decision what you want to do with that. When you make a decision, you're conscious. You're thinking about what you want to do. You are not relying on an automatic behavior from the past. You're being alive in the moment. And with anger, one of the best ways to do that is with assertive behavior. Again, it's a commonly used word. I'd like to define it a bit and highlight the meaning of assertive behavior. We know passive behavior is doing nothing, making believe it's not happening, or ignoring it, or just being silent about it, taking it. That's passivity. Aggressive behavior is when we act out with words or actions and hurt someone else or ourselves. That's aggressive behavior. Assertive behavior is right in the middle. It's standing up for ourselves, but doing it in a considerate ways. This is what, what makes assertive behavior so very, very difficult? You're doing two things at once. You are standing up for yourself and expressing yourself. That's number one. Standing up for yourself, expressing yourself. Two, at the same time, you're doing it with consideration and compassion for the other person. That's a difficult trick to pull off. But again, once you do it, you practice it, it becomes easier and easier. And that's the key to managing anger. Assertive behavior.